Like I promised, making a short video. I am in Germany. I am making this video in a beautiful, beautiful park. If anyone would just drop you here, you would never know. You would never guess that you are in the middle of Berlin, Germany. It happens that this city of Berlin has many, many parks. And here I'm in a park very close to my hotel. And there's some type of a castle, and this is like the garden of that castle. It's like the Versailles of Berlin, I guess. It's beautiful and quiet, so perfect place to make a video. In Berlin, it's a city full of memories, memorials, because the past of the Germans being so busy, and their history, their main history, their most important history being so recent. So between the wall that they used to call the Wall of Shame, and obviously both World War I and II being part of their very recent history as well, they have quite a bit of memorials and things to remember. And thankfully the Germans walking around today have nothing to do at all. They're not guilty for their forefathers, for their past. And interestingly, that brings to mind what the Bible says about you know, those scriptures talking about future generations having to pay. To the 7th generation, I think, one of those scriptures mentioned, having to pay for whatever their old generation had done. What a wonderful, loving God this Jehovah God is, isn't he? Imagine the Germans walking around today, having to pay for the Germans of 1939, 1940, 1945. 42, 44, and 45. Imagine that. Imagine if those poor guys had to pay for what those Germans back then did. Would that be fair? Really, would that be fair? You know, when you think about stuff like that, that's how you see how unfair this God Jehovah really is. One thing I wanted to mention in this video real quick, something I have done last year when I was on vacation, and that I mentioned in a video, but this video is about a year old now. What I've been doing is sending postcards from almost every city I've been in. I already sent a couple of postcards from France, and I just sent one from Germany. And those postcards are going to an elder. So what I've been doing, I've been sending him postcards with a message against Jehovah's Witnesses. You see, when you send a letter, it's so easy to read barely 2 sentences and then throw the letter away. But a postcard, what can you write on a postcard? You know, just a short paragraph. That's all you can write on a postcard. So the guy who's starting to read a postcard is going to finish the postcard, okay? It's just a few words. So not only I know that once they receive that, him and his wife, they are bound to read the whole thing because it's just a few words. But who else can read the message on a postcard? Well, I didn't put it in an envelope, that's for sure. So anyone handling that postcard who is curious enough to read what it says on the back of it. And let's say my last postcard, nobody may be able to read it in Germany because it's in French. But once that thing crossed the border to France, until it gets to his address, many people can actually read this message. And this message is a warning against the religion of Jehovah's Witnesses. So this is a fun thing to do, and it's activism. You know, it's part of my activism. It's something I can do while having fun on vacation, and I just enjoy doing it. Even if nobody reads that postcard, it will get where it needs to get, and I know that they are bound to read it. But most likely, you know, some other people will be able to read that. And I'll be sending a few more before I get back home. So that's one thing I wanted to mention also on this video. Another thing worth mentioning for this video about Jehovah's Witnesses being in Berlin and among Germans here. Like I just mentioned, Germans have a recent past history that's very, very sad and unfamous. Now, if you were to ask those Germans if they wanted to go back 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 years ago, do you think they would want to do that? Because, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses keep on saying that we are living the last days because things are going worse and worse by the day. Well, not exactly. Frankly, there are some things that are much better than some less than 100 years ago. Okay, World War II is still less than 100 years ago. It's only 80 years ago. And in 1989, when the Germans finally destroyed that wall of shame, when was that? That is not even 30 years ago. That is 28 years ago. They'll celebrate, I'm sure, their 30th years in 2 years from now. It's not even 30 years yet. So, no, not everything is going worse. Not everything is going bad. Some things are actually going better. So, this excuse of believing that we are living in the last days because things are going from worse to terrible, that's another lie. Some things are not good, that's for sure. Some things need serious improvements in this world, but some things are going much better. And that is something Jehovah's Witnesses don't like to think about, because it would be a reminder for them that their predictions are based on sand, on air, on nothing. So that's it for today. Germany inspired me this video. Really, definitely thinking about the predictions. Things are going worse and worse every day. Well, ask the Germans, they would tell you it got much, much better, especially these past 30 years. Poor people that had to pay for the mistakes, for the sins of their forefathers. Well, ask the Germans if they would want to pay for whoever did whatever they did back in 1940. I don't think they would want to do that, and they don't deserve to pay for that either. That would be awful, and that really shows that awful Bible stuff. You know, that loving God that makes people pay for up to the 7th generation for whatever their forefathers did. Awful. A good reminder here of that here in Germany. And I wanted to mention about my postcards, my little postcards, having fun writing them and sending them to my little favorite elder in France. This elder is a good friend of my family, and really not even a bad guy. He's always been a very nice person, him and his wife, both adorable people, but indoctrinated Jehovah's Witnesses, so I don't want to hurt them. but I want them to know that they are in a cult. So that's why I'm sending this, and at the same time, if anyone could read the postcards and be warned, that'd be even better. So thanks for listening. Subscribe to my videos if you haven't yet. Share the videos if you like it. Bye-bye now.